Hey, today we're going to be doing Lab 4, properties of asphalt binder and asphalt paving, starting with the penetration of bituminous materials. For this you're going to need a penetration apparatus with the total weight of spindle and needle of 50 grams. It's good to test the penetration of your specimen just because it will be related to the viscosity, which is in turn directly related to thermal cracking as well as rutting. To conduct this test, place your bitumen sample underneath your needle, then lower the tip of the needle until it just touches the surface of the sample. After you do this, record the gauge reading and then release the needle for 5 seconds. Remeasure the gauge reading after this time, and the difference between the two will be the penetration of the sample. Next, we're going to be doing the standard practice for preparation of bituminous specimen using Marshall apparatus. The asphalt should be preheated to approximately 160 degrees Celsius, as it will then reach the proper mixing viscosity. You're going to want to preheat the mixing bowl as well as aggregates to ensure the asphalt does not cool down during the mixing process. Add the appropriate pre-measured amount of asphalt and put into your sample. Mix the entire sample until all of the aggregate is fully coated in asphalt. Once this is done, place the entire sample into the heated mold and get it ready for compaction. As all the materials we'll be working with in this lab have been preheated to high temperatures, it is very crucial that protective gloves be worn at all times that are thermal resistant. Okay, so once you've finished your compaction, you're going to need to slide your whole mold out. You're going to flip the specimen over by disassembling your mold and only flipping the bottom piece. Be careful when you're doing this because these molds are preheated, so that will be hot. Always wear your protective gloves while handling these molds. So as you see, Richard's just flipping it, putting it back together, and he's going to get it back in to repeat the drops on the other side. To prepare your specimen for the Marshall apparatus, you're going to need to take the dimensions. You have to figure out the volume and the surface area over which you're going to be applying your load so that you can figure out your stresses in your asphalt specimen. You can use a digital reader for this. That's advisable. Once you've taken your measurements, you can take your specimen and put it into the Marshall apparatus holder. Make sure it's snugly in there and slide it down until it is completely covered. Once you have it securely in place, place it into the Marshall apparatus This is going to apply a load and record it using 3 different gauges. You have to watch all the gauges and record the maximums and the minimums, as they will wind up and then back down while conducting the experiment. The results from these tests will give you a good indication how forces will be transferred through the asphalt surface into the base underneath. This is important when you're designing any good road structure. Alright, well, talk to you next time.